to another video. It's your boy Jose Rodriguez with eXp Realty, team leader of the therejteam, and today I'm going to be speaking about standards and having values in your life, in your business, and everything, right? Because that's going to justify what kind of a person you are, what you tolerate in your life, and the environment that you keep around you, which is very, very important. So I'll just go ahead and start it off with standards, why it's so important. So the first thing you have to understand is that the way that I view standards and my values and my core values is the foundation of my life. And I take it very seriously because think about it. I mean, if you're living your life floating around, not understanding what you stand for or what your standards are or what you're willing to tolerate, everybody's going to take advantage of you. You're not going to stand for a specific idea, or you're not going to stand for specific values. So you're just going to be tossed around by anybody that can get a hand of you, and you're not going to know what to believe, because you have to understand that when you have these standards and when you have these values, you are now holding yourself up to a specific code. And now that you have the specific code, all of the decisions that you make are going to have to be congruent with those codes, congruent with those standards, congruent with those values. And the reason why it's so important is because if you're operating your day-to-day, right, and your standards and your values say, hey, I gotta wake up early in the day, get a cold shower in, get to the gym, work out, or work out, do calisthenics, whatever it is that you're doing, understand that you're developing a specific foundation for yourself, and now you're becoming a specific person that this is what you uphold. This is who you are. You're building that character, and now you're establishing that momentum. And even for your business, right? What do you tolerate in your business? What are you able to see? Like, for me, the thing that I understand the most is that I don't tolerate mediocrity or average. I just don't, right? If I want to uphold myself to a higher standard than everybody else, I'm going to have to walk the walk and not just talk about it. So I take it very personal if, for example, I'm laying down, I'm sleeping, and it's time for me to wake up 4 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning, and then my mind says, hey, you should just relax, man. You've been working hard all these times, and I think that you deserve a break. Why the fuck would why would I stay and listen to my mind if I have a blueprint of standards saying, hey, you said that you were gonna do this, and if one of your values is I am a man of my word and I do what I say I'm gonna do when I say I'm gonna do it, and it's time for you to wake up and you don't live up to it, now you're gonna establish this negative momentum, and throughout your whole day you're gonna feel like shit because you haven't been living up to your word. And your subconscious mind is saying, wait a minute, this fucking guy is saying a bunch of stuff, but he's not living up to it. Now your standards are becoming lower and lower and lower and lower, and people are gonna start seeing that in you, and they're gonna start feeling that you're the type of person that does not keep their commitments, and you're willing to break it, right? The same people that fucking make the New Year goals, right? 2020, I'm gonna do so much things. Fucking COVID happens. Oh man, I gotta stay inside. I'm not gonna do anything. You know what? 2021, fresh start. Man, this isn't the year. But you know what? You know what the best thing about COVID is that I'm able to not do shit this year, and everybody else is gonna understand it because, I mean, hey, we're all going through the same shit, right? You have to understand, guys, that is all bullshit, and you're becoming a victim to your own mind and to the popularity of what's gonna be accepted in the world. And that's what I mean by mediocre and average. I don't fucking take that shit, because I know that if I wanna do something different, if I wanna change the world, if my goals are as big as changing the world, I can't operate like everybody else. Because if that were the fact and that's how everything works, then everybody else would be changing the world positively, right? Because you can change the world negatively by not doing shit, right? And not contributing every single day and putting that money in the bank with the universe, right? So that's the first thing that I want you guys, or that's what I want you guys to think about, is that every time that you don't have values, or you don't sit down with yourself and say, hey, this is what I stand for, you're leaving yourself susceptible to whatever life throws at you. And now you don't even know how to handle it because you don't have a blueprint to say, okay, this is what I tolerate, this is what I'm about, this is what I stand for, I'm a man of my word. Something comes at you, you don't know how to handle it because you don't have a blueprint. So you have to understand that you have to sit down with yourself and say, okay, what am I going to tolerate in my environment? What am I going to tolerate in my business? What am I going to tolerate for myself? How do I want to communicate with people, right? What are my goals? What are the things that I want to achieve? And what is the action plan that I have to take to be able to achieve these goals? And if I'm not willing to take the action plans to achieve these goals, then do I really want these goals? Or am I making the distraction bigger than the goals that I actually want to reach? Why am I making the distraction so much brighter? Why am I making this distraction like it's more important than the goals? Is it because I'm surrounded by people that are not pushing me to reach my goals? Is it because I'm surrounded by people that are pushing me towards a distraction, right? People that don't understand what it's like to reach for goals. So they want to sit there and criticize you for doing what you're supposed to be doing. Oh, you're never going to make it. What a fool you are thinking that you're going to make it to these goals. We all know where you came from. We know what you're about. It doesn't fucking make sense, guys. It doesn't make sense. And that's what I want you to understand. When you're going after your goals, you have to be willing to stand firm and say, this is what I'm going to go for, regardless of what anybody else says, because it's my life. And if they want to contribute and support, great, because they're going to benefit from it too. You become this giant source of positive energy for the people that are around you, and there are going to be people that are not going to agree with you, cool. But you have to understand that it's your life, and you have to take responsibility for your actions and say, this is what I stand for, and this is what I tolerate. You don't have to do what everybody else does just because it's easier, just because it's more acceptable, because that route is usually more acceptable. However, the route of going after your goals is fucking hard, right? It's challenging, it's complex. But it all depends on you look at it, right? Do you want to live an easy life that everything else is going to be hard? You make the easy decision of going after your distractions, whatever that is for you, whatever the vice is for you that takes up all of your fucking time but barely contributes positively to your life because it's easier, it takes less effort to go that way. Not really. It's just a mind thing. It takes the same amount of effort and energy to go after your goals than it is to fucking distract yourself, because you end up feeling drained and like shit in this one. However, if you go after your goals, you may feel a little bit exhausted because you've been pushing and working and putting in the effort. However, instead of feeling like shit, you're gonna feel fucking amazing. And that's the difference between going after distraction, going after your goals. So every single day, guys, stick to your word, write down what you stand for, your values, and understand this is life and death. This is important. And that's why I'm stressing on it so big, because it's the only thing that matters, right? If you're not living your day every single day based on the values and things that you stand for, what your goals are, what you want to go after, the relationships that you want to create and manifest into your life, the goals and everything, it makes no sense. What is life worth living for if you don't have anything to live it for? You're just floating through life. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Guys, if you appreciated this video, if you learned something from it, or if you feel like you could spike any positivity on anybody else that may be thinking about doing something great with their life, feel free to share it, like it, comment down below what you think. Also check out my podcast, Built from Pain Podcast. It's on every platform. I'll go ahead and link it down below as well. And that's all I got for you guys.